Hello, and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, pleasure to be with you, my friend. We've got so much to talk about.
Good to be
I'm
here,
ready to
sir.
get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. Guys, as a reminder, next week, no episode. Hey, we're taking the week off. Or are we?
If you know, you know.
Yeah, or are we? So, yeah, no episode. I'm going to post some clips
Yeah.
of the show today, and we're working on something to, I guess, enhance our shorts, right?
Yep.
So
Yep. That's a good choice of
that's
words.
that's probably gonna be out there sometime. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Joel, how you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing great. I am, we've talked about how busy we've been, but there's been I feel like an excitement, a rush of excitement back into fandom with between amazing games. We'll talk about Spider-Man here in a second. Some unique stuff going on cinematically and just in general, the news is picking up. So, and it's the happiest time of the year. Like we're here in the States, some of us observe Thanksgiving. Like as we're talking about taking off next week. It's on Thursday. Usually our show's recording. And then after that, you start picking up into what I observe, Christmas and New Year's, and it's all kinds of fun stuff going on all around that time of the year. So look, it's a good time for sure. And I'm looking forward to hopefully some better content going into next year, but we'll talk about
Well,
that here in a little bit
yeah,
for
we're probably
sure.
gonna have to do our usual like best of the worst kind of episodes
Yeah.
towards sometime next month. We'll do that. A holiday gift guide. We usually try to
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like fit that in, and and we'll just talk about
There's Have
the
you
things
seen
that
the
we
Black
liked,
Friday
and
stuff right now? Have you seen the
there's
Black Friday
there's
stuff?
some.
It's not that good.
It's not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only three things that I'm actually on the lookout for. I'm looking to upgrade my iPad. There's
Okay.
no iPads, no new iPads this year, so I just may go with last year's model for just the regular iPad, and then maybe I'm looking for two games specifically.
Mm.
It's Resident Evil Village and the Fires of the Rubicon, the From Software. Ah, dang it! Now it's like I lost it. Uh, oh, I hate myself for doing this. Armored
Okay.
Core, Armored Core. I should have known. Armored Core 6. So I'm looking for that. But other than those two games, I got what I need, so I'm good. I'm good
Yep.
for the rest of the year. I'm set. I may just skip all games, right, and
Right.
finish. I'm gonna try and platinum Spidey if I can't. That's fine, but definitely want to jump into Street Fighter because I haven't, dude. It's like I touched it like very very briefly, and I really want to jump back into it and really go in and start trading and get in it. So yeah, dude.
For sure. For sure.
Dude, so you got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Only thing that I want to talk about is that I watched the ending for Attack on Titan, and it was absolutely insane. It was very very good, very good, very anime. Like if when I mean very anime is like very, it gets really existential, right, and all that, and it's deep and it's heartbreaking and all that. It's especially after spending 10 years with these characters, and you've seen the characters grow and go their own paths, and then having it culminating in this, it was pretty, it's a pretty intense watch, but very very good. So definitely, I've said it before. Like Attack on Titan is one of the best things on TV. Period. Not just good anime, and it delivered. Like the ending was like insane. So yeah, very good stuff. So yeah, I'm still watching. What about halfway through season 4 of My Hero Academia with my daughter. So like season 4 I didn't watch. So I'm like, this is all new. So we're both doing it at the same time, and it's so far it's been quite an enjoyable experience. So, yeah, man, dude, I just want to hear what you have to say about the Marvels, man, because I didn't watch your video.
Yeah, I'll
I
do
didn't.
non-spoilers
I
here.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't watch the video that you posted.
Yeah.
And we usually skip this and tell you guys it's like, oh, if you guys want to know what we think about it, go watch the video. I want to know, dude. Tell me what's up.
Absolutely. And I think it's fair because the other video said it. I didn't hold back and do a non-spoiler. Then I just go right into completely spoilers. Here I'll do just a really quick non-spoiler. Just tell you like it is. The movie's mediocre. That
Okay.
is that is the answer for it. It is not a colossal mess. It is not She-Hulk. But it ain't saying much. It's not saying much. It is, you know, so Thor Love and Thunder was just an absolute goof mess. Like it's actually like it had a goofy issues, right? But I do think that Thor Love and Thunder had a better story than this one, where this
Okay.
one has a bad story, but the just generally speaking, the portrayals of the characters is better than you would get in like Thor Love and Thunder. It's a tough bar to really pull up, but it's very forgettable. I feel bad. So there's no major sequences that you're gonna love, and then there's two sequences in particular that are very much going to be the sequences that are going to be very divisive for Marvel fans. Like you'll know when you see it. I had people for both scenes laughing, like just whatever. And dude, I was so checked out. Like I was like, this isn't. I had like secondhand embarrassment. Like I wanted to run
No.
to the bathroom and hide because I was like, what is going on? And then there's the second one. That's the first I'm talking about. But then the second one to me was is like a complete problem. Like it's just weird and it's a problem. Like
Really?
it's one of those kind of things that you're like, I know it could be like dark humor or this or whatever,
Right.
but I'm sorry. Like it's just not. It's so dumb and so bad. Like it's just it's falls flat. Anyways, so you'll know those two when you see it. Nick Fury is very different than the usual Nick Fury we know. And people will say maybe he's like a scroll or this or whatever. I just think in general, when you look at the way they did this, they clearly were not paying attention to any of the other Marvel projects, aside from maybe the first Captain Marvel and the Miss Marvel show and WandaVision that they do
Oh,
clearly
so
reference a lot.
there's a consistency problem.
Huge consistency problem. Like
Oh
all the
no, they
stuff like you're seeing
failed.
with the Secret Invasion, it's
Right.
as if it doesn't exist. Like in my
I
opinion, like
wish
it's
it didn't, but
completely.
it's
I would,
there.
yeah, right. It's there, right. Like if you're gonna do it, try and retcon it. Don't like
Right.
ignore it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
See,
So
that's sad to hear
yeah,
because that has been the strong point, right? Marvel
sure,
being able to actually
yeah,
link all these movies together into a
right,
cohesive universe, and now they're just branching off and doing their thing and not making sense and not taking into account what happened before, and that's a
right.
huge problem. That's a huge red flag right there, man.
Which now, when you hear the stories of the director essentially not coming back to finish the project, that could have been a big issue in it. That there was just such inconsistencies. Whoever was putting this project together in the end, whoever that person was, just just mismatch the Frankenstein together to try and get
Oh
what you get in
man,
the end.
that's
Now,
crazy.
there's some positives, right?
Right.
It's short. It's like 2 hours, right? Like this movie, if this movie had like inconsistencies and did certain stuff, and then it was like way too long, that would make it a problem. It's
Okay.
short. The other thing is like Miss Marvel. Everyone says the same thing. Like she's great in this. She's absolutely great in this. Personally, I think her and I would even say Monica Rambeau. I actually did like their portrayals. I like Miss Marvel's more, but I think Monica wasn't bad in it.
Okay.
I think Captain Marvel was the one that I had the most issues within this, where I don't know if, and this is a personal opinion, people are going to feel very differently about this, but I feel like she was kind of phoning it in a little bit
Mm.
and maybe not as
Okay.
interested in the project. And that's just how I again, maybe it's just the way she was acting or what, I don't know. Because like you talk to other people, like this lady has done like award-winning The Room and these other different, projects, and for some reason in this one she looked a little checked out. Maybe she knew she wasn't that good. I don't know. Um, like little Melissa McCarthy in Ghostbusters, where she just checked out and you knew it wasn't any good. Uh, it might have been a similar situation. I don't know,
Sure.
but like with this, um, the post-credit scene was just so good, man. Like I will not spoil it.
Okay.
And I feel it's basically leaked everywhere online. Like if you're on TikTok, you'll see it. If you see it on like Reddit, it's on a few places, whatever. But yeah, like one of those really cool, really great moments. Just in general, I think I can't talk about without spoiling it. The villain is horrible. Don't even remember her name. The storyline of I'm not trying to be funny. Like I would challenge most people, and don't put Google in front of them. Tell me the name of who the villain was that watched it. I don't think most people could tell you. Like if they were honest to God, like not lying, I honestly believe that most people couldn't tell you. It was like Dahamar, or something. I don't know. Anyways,
Damn.
and then like the overall gist of what the situation was, what they were battling for. It's like this could have been fixed in like 5 minutes. It's almost like when you watch also the Transformers, was it four, the one Age of Extinction?
Oh,
When
okay.
like out of nowhere, like Optimus Prime just like flies, has wings and just like flies away. You're
Right
like,
at the end of the
dude,
movie.
you could
Yeah.
have done this like when you were in the farmhouse or whatever, and just flew away right to the end and just and fix this thing. But out of nowhere, he just does this at the end of the movie. It's like one of those kind of things when you see with this movie, you're like, wait a second,
What the
this whole
heck?
this whole drama, this whole storyline could have been fixed. There's so many issues with also the portrayal of Captain Marvel in the sense that she's a powerful character, and I think that she needs to be shown in that way. And they really suppressed her, but they didn't do it in a way of like ideological or maybe like a kryptonite type thing, because they try to do that a little bit with the storyline of trying to say, hey, you can't use your powers this much without spoiling it. But even still, it doesn't hold up because I talk about this in my review. There's a sequence, an action sequence, and I could not get out of my mind 2019 sitting in the theaters and remembering seeing, you know, Thanos looking up, here comes Captain Marvel flying through the fleet, destroys everything, comes right down. He has all the stones in that moment. She comes perfect
Right.
timing. Keep his hands from clinching. He trying to stop. He headbutts her. She headbutts him right back, like no issues. And he has to pull the power stone out to whack her to put it
Right.
back in the gauntlet because other else she was not going to let go.
Yep.
I love that sequence. It's so cool. And in this movie, you have a sequence that's a specific action sequence, and I want people to think like I could not get that image in my head, and I'm going, why are we doing this? Like that Captain Marvel I just saw 4 years ago would never like have been taken down like this. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of feelings without getting into spoilers. I do encourage people, if you do watch the movie, watch my spoilers review, because then you'll hear me talk about more specific without being granular. But yeah, it's just unfortunately it falls into mediocrity. I think the first half is really funny and charming. Like there's good comedy actually in this movie, and there's some fun moments like the beginning action sequences and stuff. But just in general, unfortunately, it just does not come together that good.
Man, that stinks. Yeah, what
Yeah.
hurts me is what you said about the consistency, because that has been, that's what made Marvel that's what made the MCU what it is, right?
You had to see every single one.
that's what carried it, right? And
Yeah,
now we're to the point where you can skip movies,
pretty
because
much. Yeah, you could skip this. I
yeah.
mean, well, there's a multiversal thing. Jump to the end of the movie. That's pretty much
Okay,
what you
okay,
need.
okay, okay,
Watch the last half an
okay.
hour.
All right, cool. All right, interesting. So, I mean, I'll check it out when it's out on Disney Plus. It's
Yeah.
fine. I'm not
Yeah,
in
yeah,
a
yeah.
I'm not
Honestly, if
in a
you anyone who
rush.
watches it on Disney Plus, which is going to be there like January, because this movie is the worst box office like of all MCU opening. So and with Thanksgiving coming, there's a lot of competition, so it's just going to
Right.
lose legs. But yeah, this will be on Disney Plus like January, dude. So
Yeah.
you'll be seeing it very soon, and I think anyone who watches it on Disney Plus, it's fine. Like if this would have come out straight to Disney Plus, it would be like okay, sure, but man, they put a big budget behind this, and it's scary. Disney, it's very scary to see.
Yeah. No. You gotta make the choices, right? As I've been saying it for a
Yeah,
long time, you gotta make the tough choices, and you know, we'll talk about it here in a second, but we'll talk about Loki first, right?
yeah, go for it.
I Okay. So I really like that ending. I know that you may be split on it based on we briefly spoke about it. Spoilers, guys. Now we're
Yeah,
going into
now we're gonna
spoilers.
get into it.
Now
Yeah.
we're going into spoilers. Um, I I really enjoyed the entire season two. I liked each episode. Every episode was good in my opinion. There was no episode that I got bored. Every episode had something going on, right? This episode, I think it it doesn't really excel at like how should I phrase this? I'm having trouble expressing it, but it doesn't as an episode for a show. It doesn't really blow your mind, but what it does for the MCU is, I think, probably the most important thing that happened since Thanos was, first revealed in the first Avengers, right? It really circles back and I think wraps up Loki's story in a very good way. Although Hiddleston out there said it's like, oh, it would be what was his quote? It's like it would be really arrogant of my part if to think that this would be the last time that you see Loki, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, it
Yeah.
is kind of like the end of it, right? The OG Loki died, and this Loki is I don't want to say forever trapped, but basically the multiverse falls apart, and Loki uses his power to hold it together, creating Yggdrasil. So creating the multi-plane tree from Norse mythology. Um, I really really liked it, Joel. I really enjoyed it. Again, as a show, right? They didn't blow my mind for the ending. The final episode didn't blow my mind, but then again, it's in the details, right? The importance of Loki now going full circle from villain to the savior of the multiverse, right?
Yeah.
And that was a really good loop. Him being actually getting his throne, but not the one that he needed or wanted, but the one that everyone deserved. So, basically, he's holding the fibers of the multiverse together, trapped technically in there forever, right? While the TVA now readjusts into what is a TVA now and how they handle, I guess, variants. Which takes me back to, I guess they killed Kong officially, but you didn't notice because when they go back and when the agent was it goes back and talks to Mobius and she asked him, it was like how are the other variants doing? It's like, oh yeah, there was a problem with the one in 616 adjacent, but they took care of it. That's the one from Quantum Mania. So
Right.
that means that the Kang or the Kang variants have been subverted into just like they're not really relevant anymore. So that's a smart way to do it,
I
man.
agree.
That's a
I
smart
agree.
way to do it. If you ask me, dude. And then the following day we get news, right? And we can, I guess, segue into that later. But how do you feel about it, man? Oh,
Yeah.
he froze. Oh, there you
I
go.
think.
He's good.
Oh, am I here? I'm
You're good.
back.
You're good. You're good.
Cool. Okay. 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 So I think let me talk about this episode and then I'll kind of tie it into just the season as a whole. So this particular episode is it's a good finale. I don't think it's a great finale. I think that it was very predictable for the first half. I was sitting there and you can guys like Obed, the new technology we're using for some of our clips, I may have to use it for this, but I know people close to me have said this and I've said it on the show before. They were going to do the whole live, die, repeat thing and relive that moment over and over. I predicted that. I literally said like
Oh,
when the
yeah,
whole when the whole universe when the
right.
whole thing ended and became spaghetti, I was like, watch, like this, they're gonna go back in time and redo this again. And not only did it again, they did it again, 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 faster, do it faster, go
For
again,
thousands
whatever,
of years.
thousands of years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Very predictable. And then I was like, well, if he can't do this, like he has to obviously go back to the moment that Sylvie kills King. Like you knew that was like obvious one coming through. But then when you get the starts to change things up is when you finally get the pause and King and Loki break out and they're just speaking to each other.
right.
Great,
That was great.
absolutely great moment. That's to me where it starts to actually pick up
Mm,
that finale,
yeah,
because then you get the reverse where Loki, he's like, okay, fine, we'll play, and then Loki just snaps again. It's like, what makes you think we haven't had this conversation before as well? And he actually pauses time himself, Loki. Um, that's where some of the issues starts to fall into me. So Loki is now the smartest and most powerful character in the entire MCU
right.
because he has had now hundreds of years of physicists and learning science and chemistry and whatever,
And
and
multiversal travel and time
multiversal
travel and all
travel,
that.
and he
Yeah,
can,
right,
right, like he's basically like the power of the beyonder, like, and the watcher together kind of thing.
right,
And like, so you just did that for him, and then you also now just basically gave that somehow he has the power of life to give to the two timelines, that he can give life to entire timeline branches, right? As a whole, I think that it works and it makes sense ish. I just don't like, it's not that it bothers me it doesn't bother me the choice that they made. It's just like I don't trust them on how they did it because of the ramifications. Like I don't expect them to hold true to this huge, huge moment. I feel like it's gonna be undone to some extent. And that's frustrating. I definitely would say like it was very comic booky, like him walking in and grabbing the branch, giving power, and sitting there
it
on the
was,
throne,
yeah, that
because
was cool.
it's like that's the kind of stuff like, DC. If you're a DC fan, like in the comics, the Flash being stuck on like the world treadmill or whatever, and like he has to just keep running forever. Jay Garrick gets stuck in one of those things or whatever. There's like a whole storylines on that, right? The Crisis on Infinite Earths and a few different other comics that have done stuff like that, where it's like, him being stuck running on the treadmill, and like, now in this one, it's like he's stuck sitting in the throne holding these things together for all of time.
Right.
Like that's very comic book. So like it doesn't bother me at all. Um, but yeah, like my point being is I just gave criticism to the Marvels, right? Like had they done the same thing with a female character, I would have said the same exact like reaction. Like if they would make
Right.
any other character sit there and have the same,
See,
become the smartest
just
person, be trained.
yeah.
It's not that it's bad. It just feels like, I don't know, man.
As much as I liked Sylvie, yeah, totally, right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. I
Like
agree. I
even
agree.
Sylvie, I didn't think they used Sylvie to the extent that I would have liked this whole season.
Totally.
You
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
tell that it was a different showrunner because the
Right,
showrunner from the first season used Sylvie and used Ravonna and used Miss Minutes in a very intricate way, and they
right.
did do it for a bit in here. Not saying they did horrible by any means, but it almost felt like sometimes they just kind of resorted to
So,
making Sylvie just moody,
but okay.
and they didn't really know how to use
So,
all the
so
time.
I think that again, right. They probably learned from Obi-Wan, where they call the
Yeah,
show Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Obi-Wan's not really the main character of the show. So they course corrected, because
that's
that
true.
sort of happened right at the on the first season. It's like, oh, I wanted to watch a show about Loki. Now is this female Loki and this other like school principal trying to do this thing, right? And
Yeah,
so right, and there was some criticism when it comes to that. And I didn't mind it, right? But
sure.
right, the whole bait and switch that Disney's been doing for the last, I don't know, 5 years, it's getting tiresome, right? So at some point you gotta go back to your roots, and I think this show tried to do that, and it achieved it, right? It was like Loki
Yeah,
is the main character. He's involved
that's
with
true.
every choice, every decision that everyone makes. He's involved with it, and he's there, and he's doing stuff, right? He's not depending on Sylvie to do this thing. He's go ahead and do it, right? So
Totally.
yeah, they kind of course corrected it. So
But like all the criticisms that I just gave, um, I can honestly say I like the show. It's like how I criticize like the Batman, right? Like yeah, I've had my criticisms of that movie.
right,
I like that movie. Like I like this
it's
season
very
of
good.
Loki. I
Yeah.
think it's something that Marvel needed, like something very refreshing, which is just consistent. It didn't need to be this an action pack. There's like maybe two major action sequences in the entire series.
Right,
It's very like you don't even need to be a comic book fan. Like you just like good television
sci-fi.
that you
Yeah,
can watch and enjoy good sci-fi. Which I think is good. Like Marvel needs that kind of quality. And then it does have a big ramification for the bigger MCU, like you said. I think that's what's positive. But like, man, I'm sorry. Like the Victor Timely thing, they wasted 2 episodes on us. That was pointless. Like those they you
they
get the
had
whole like
to.
creepy Miss Minutes thing, you get all this stuff, and like there's no payoff for that
They
at all.
no,
He
no.
becomes
Yeah,
spaghetti and it doesn't matter.
yeah, and he comes back and he acknowledges the things, and then he just goes all the way back to his timeline,
Yeah, dude.
or goes back to his timeline, right? But technically now that the timeline, his timeline was curated, and he never received the guide, so he doesn't become timely, right? That's the whole
Sure.
thing. He even got
Sure.
erased from
Got erased. The book doesn't come through,
right.
whatever. Like
So
that like that's crazy. Like so like those two
uh,
things like completely undone. Doesn't matter. And
yeah,
then like to me, the episode even before the finale of like let's go run through time and find you're a nurse and you're working at McDonald's and like
I
Mobius
really
is
right.
a
Yeah, I
man.
really like that.
I know you liked it, but to me, it's like I could have done without it personally. Like I don't think it was like a fun like filler episode. It wasn't horrible, but it's just in general. There's a few things with this show that some people have given it a lot of praise, and I definitely see that it's quality acting. It's got a great story. It's aesthetically pleasing, like all those kind of positives. But I gotta call like I see now as I
Yeah,
look at the whole season. Definitely not as exciting as maybe season one for me. I definitely would be curious if they would have had the same showrunner, if she would have stayed on, what things maybe they would have done. But regardless, did like it. I think it's good. I think most people will like it, and that's a positive. Marvel needed that for sure.
yeah, and it needed a W for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so this would be a great segue, Joel. So our boy, our favorite Chilean is back. So is it confirmed? Last I heard, it is right.
Yeah, all the places that's coming from, like it's not that it's impossible, but I believe it just because it's
Right,
from Deadline. Slash Film said it first, which is more legit. But when Deadline said it, I'm pretty sure it's done.
right. So Pedro Pascal is reportedly, allegedly,
Yeah.
the new Reed Richards for Fantastic Four. I'm gonna go straight to you. How do you feel about it? Because I know that
Perfect.
you okay, good.
Perfect. There is zero complaints here. The John Krasinski thing, let's get the spaghetti scene again out of my mind. There's a theme here, as you can see, Obed. So
Apparently Joe doesn't like spaghetti. I don't know. It sounds like
I love to eat
it
spaghetti. I don't
sounds
like my
like
heroes becoming
it sounds
spaghetti.
like trauma to me. I was like, next time we go have lunch, I'm gonna have some noodles and see how you react. Yeah.
I'm triggered.
Yeah, I was like,
Mr. Fantastic.
yeah.
But like, yeah, John. I think John Krasinski's cool. I would love the him and Emily Blunt thing, but that ship has sailed.
Yeah,
I don't. I want a new
right.
interpretation, and yeah, I think this is a win. This is a win. I mean, at the end of the day, Mr. Fantastic, and Reed Richards, like characters like him, like Cyclops, they're cool characters, but they're kind of, little,
They're
little,
too nerdy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
little nerdy, a little sweaty. They need a little
Right.
swagger to them, right? And
Right.
I think Pedro will give the swagger they need.
Right.
He's clearly old enough of an actor. You didn't go too young. You could believe that this guy has been a great physicist for a long time. We know that he has a dramatic acting chops. He's going to go from DC to Marvel. This is pretty awesome to see, right? from Make a Wish Man to coming in now playing potentially one of the smartest
Oh, I
characters
had
in
to erase
Power
that
of Marvel.
from my memory,
Yeah,
dude.
bro. I just have it in my head.
Oh
I
no.
wish, in front of the camera, right? It could be better, right? All the scenes. Oh, you see, I remember.
It's not
Um,
his fault though. You watched
it's
The
not his
Last
fault.
of Us.
He was the last of us. He also was the Mandalorian
Yeah.
too.
Well,
So
yeah.
obviously,
I mean, we can talk about that. I guess. Yeah, it was the
go for it.
Mandalorian because he's confirmed that for season 4, he's not going
Yeah,
to be in the suit. So
yeah,
he will be just doing the VO, and then it will be a stunt actor, in the suit.
yeah,
So
totally.
that's confirmed. There's his scheduling is crazy right now, and I think this opportunity is too big for him to just pass up to go
Yeah,
be Mando when you can have his VO and probably cameo in one episode. That's it, right?
it's Disney.
So
They'll make him do both.
right. They can manage, but I am in. I am in. You better not mess up the rest of the cast though. Like this is very important.
How
Like
did
this
you feel
is
about the female thing that was going around?
what do you mean?
There was rumors, people saying that they were going to cast a female for the thing and make it like she thing or something.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
They
Okay,
need it's the
here,
first family. Let's just stick to what it
the
is.
dude. So here's the thing, right? And all right,
He got triggered now.
I got triggered. Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out, right? And I am all for inclusion and diversity and all these things. I'm a million percent for it, right? But where I don't want to see as like adding the bud sounded bad. I don't. I want to take the bud back.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna take my bud back. And what? Okay, when when you read the comic books, right, and where these characters are coming from, and I understand that these are fictional characters, but what us as fans, okay, I'm gonna transport myself to when I was a kid. When I wanted when there was some announced a Batman movie or whatever. When they announced a movie, I wanted to see the characters look as close as possible as they looked in the comic book, right? Because if you're adapting a story, if you're adapting a book that you don't show the characters and you don't really specify what the characters are, or the characters'
oh
ethnicity or
sure,
whatever, you
sure,
can
yeah,
have the freedom to do whatever you want, right?
that's true. Yeah,
But when you have, bro, it's like Stan Lee like and Jack Kirby created these characters.
the
Like you,
first they were the first.
like bro, you can't just go around and change them up. That's again,
You,
this
you
what this
preach,
is,
Obed.
and this is how I felt about Little Mermaid too. It's like when you look at live action Little Mermaid, it's gonna be the same thing. Like Beauty and the Beast is not perfect, but it's accurate, right, to the cartoon. And I'm talking about the casting.
Oh sure,
Talking
sure,
about the
yeah.
casting. I'm talking.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
not
I
talking
was
about
like,
the. No, no. I'm talking about the casting, right? So like
okay.
when you picture it, it's like okay. I mean Emma Watson. Yeah, sure. I can see it, right? Like you got to squint a little bit on that one, but you can still see it. Uh, but I think the casting overall in that movie was really good. So that's the kind of thing I expect from this Marvel movies, right? It's like what like and I'm gonna be very very blunt with what I'm gonna say. I may ruffle some feathers, but like Peter Parker doesn't need to be black.
Yeah,
That's just make a new Spider-Man
yeah.
this way, and then you get Miles, right? So you don't have to go and change an established character. Make a new one, right? It's like okay, like and I'm going back and thinking about it. Like I think the most egregious right now in the whole MCU is Taskmaster. Taskmaster is
Mm,
insulting.
yeah, that because that character is such an amazing character in the comics. and they messed
Taskmaster
up. They messed
is
up.
insulting, dude, to fans.
They have to fix in Thunderbolts. I hope that like they make her way cooler because it's
I don't know.
not working right
All
now.
right, now that I ruffled feathers, Joe. Yeah, I mean that's how I feel about it.
The
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I agree because it's like the Superman thing, right?
Right.
Like Superman, like is a character created by Jewish creators. Like there's a reason why it's usually protected by a white actor. Like there's a whole like thing around that, and I get it. And similarly here with the thing, like the thing is also supposed to represent as well. I've watched documentaries or read stuff like again was
Right.
also supposed to represent like Jewish characters as well, like being at the time in the history of kind of being like a an odd person out because Stan Lee couldn't use his name, like, so that's why he created the whole Stan Lee name. All this, whatever, right? History at the
Yeah. Right.
time.
Right.
So
Right.
it's not just like a character just because they look cool and it's a bro. It's like there's a history behind why they made the decisions that they made at the time,
Right.
and so like you want to be as cognizant of that when you carry it over here, than just walk over somebody's creation and history just because they're not here to say no. And I think that's a tough pill. Like you're saying, I love creativity. I love finding ways to do it different and invite new characters. Like
Totally.
Ironheart is a new character. They didn't
Right.
say she is, Tony Stark. She's not, Courtney Stark. She's Ironheart. She's a new character, right? Like that's fine. I don't mind that.
Right.
So like I think it's all good things when you go there and face out. But yeah, that's interested to hear that. We'll see. Casting's gonna be coming. Obed. It's gonna be some Comic Con. We'll
Right.
be seeing some crazy stuff.
And just a quick follow up to that. I don't know if you saw the Galactus thing.
I did.
Yeah,
Javier
Javier
Bardem,
Bardem. Yep. So that's
good
good.
actor, very good
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah.
Um, I I don't know that I'm ready to see Galactus just yet. Like, I know he's a big villain for
Maybe.
them,
Maybe. Maybe.
but
Maybe
like
he's gonna be. Maybe he's gonna be Doom because he got the
that would be
accent. He's got the accent and
amazing.
everything, right?
That would be
Maybe. Yeah.
amazing,
Maybe the
bro.
reports are wrong and it's Doom, right? Because again, going back to the what we talked about last week about the rumor that Marvel was looking to get rid of Kang and bringing in Doom. This I think it would be really good. And then and you gotta remember that Richards and Victor are about the same age, right?
Yeah.
So pairing Javier Bardem with Pedro would probably play along really good. So that could be that could be casting gold there. So don't cast him as Galactus. Cast him as Doom, in my opinion. Right? I
Mm.
think Galactus should just be CG and you get a good voice. Like get Morgan Freeman to voice Galactus. Just joking,
I mean,
but yeah, sure.
sure. I don't know, but yeah, like I agree. I don't know. I just my attitude is just more so like Galactus is a villain that is eating entire planets. Like, do you really do the Fantastic Four need that right away? Do they need to go into planet eating like villains right
Hmm.
off the first time they're being introduced? I don't think. I think it's too soon. It's a bit much. Like,
Right.
you had to have Iron Man fight off against Obadiah Stane before he was stopping, Loki and the Shatari invasion. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you
Yeah.
would start with that, I don't know. This could be a lot.
Yeah.
This
Exactly.
is my opinion.
No. Yeah. It should be. It should. They. It should be Doom. If you ask me. So.
Yeah.
Joe, what is up with Taika Waititi and the Star Wars movie and some comments that he made recently?
So Tyka's ruffling some feathers, but that's nothing new, right? He's doing his media rounds for his new movie, and he's talking to Variety, and of course they're gonna ask him the good questions. And
The
he
questions.
got asked about like, is he coming back for Thor? He made it clear that he is not coming back if they do a Thor 5. Gosh, the fact that there's been 4 Thors, that's kind of crazy. But anyways, like he said he would not come back for Thor 5. And then they also asked him about,
Good.
Star Wars and Star Wars project. Good, right? Yeah. They asked him about Star Wars if he, still working on the project. He said he is still working on it, and his quote is that it will ruffle feathers and anger fans, and that he knows that it's going to be very upsetting, and that's just me just paraphrasing, but yeah, and then there's going to be he's also going to be very much a Taika Waititi film. It's going to be his style, how he does his things. We
Mm.
wouldn't expect anything different. Like if you cast it, if you choose a director and there's a certain style they do, you're gonna get that, right? If Christopher Nolan was hired to do a Star Wars movie, which there's been talk of it,
Right.
like, we're gonna get a specific type of Star Wars film. I get it. I just don't like this news. I don't like the
I,
boldness and the audacity of just coming out and saying this at a time where Star Wars doesn't need that.
right. I think he's trolling, but at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, yeah. It's like you're joking, right? It's like, am I right? It's that's yeah.
Yeah,
It could come across as a joke, but I don't think that Star Wars needs this right now.
yeah.
Like again, tough choices, right? They Disney they gotta make the tough choices, and I after what happened with Segler and whatnot, I wouldn't risk anyone that's saying us like, oh yeah, I'm gonna mess with the fans on this one just so I can mess with them and troll them. No, because that already happened with Thor. Look at what happened. Like it's a joke. Like that movie keeps coming back as a joke. Like bad CG, bad writing, bad comedy, cringe. It keeps coming back. I don't think if you ask me, dude, I don't think this movie's gonna happen.
I
And
hope not. That's what I was
and he's just
thinking. Yeah.
trolling. Yeah, I don't. I think that they don't need this right now. They need to make sure that I mean, not that they give just the fans what they want, right? Because you still need to make new stories and you need to bring new fans in. But again, at the same time, you can't you just can't ignore the people
No,
that
no,
built
yeah.
you up, right?
Totally.
I've said it before. It's like, come on, guys, this is like common sense, right? It's like common sense. You don't need this. You don't need it. You need someone at this point, you need someone like super safe, dude. That can, you know what? At this point, I would give the showrunner for Loki season 2 of Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
That's a safe bet because he was respectful of the character and the MCU as a whole.
Right.
I think right. So sure, but dude, come on, don't do this, guys. It's like it's seriously again. This thing's not gonna happen. We have about a year to go, at least. So we'll
According to some people, it's already done.
according to some people, it's been done since after the Last Jedi and no email and what. Dude, I haven't seen any of those guys' videos in a while. Like
Those
I haven't seen
guys
what
are,
Doom's up to these days. What's he up to these days?
I
You know
don't
what?
know.
Let's go see. Hold on.
Oh boy. Here we
Oh,
go.
let's go see what Doom is up to.
Oh man.
Uh, all right,
Probably upset about the Marvels right now.
Mister Doom. Oh! I almost played some audio.
Yep.
Disney not remaking Star Wars. The Marvels MCU biggest failure. Yeah, so basically that's what it is. George Lucas taking revenge on Disney, poised to strike at the Disney board. Sure, sure. I'll believe it when I see it. It's like, isn't it crazy, right?
Yeah.
That this shows or this YouTube channels have this insane following, and they have never had anything right. They
But
had
it's what
never
people want to
predicted.
hear.
Yeah, right. They never predicted anything right. It's just things that you want to hear. But oh, we're over here in a low time, actually like nailing stuff, like right on the money. But hey, you
Not
know
wearing
what?
masks,
No,
hiding our faces, and
no.
distorting our voices. Walking up to actors at
Or
conventions and asking the hard questions.
or making fake videos about what someone didn't say. It's like It's like whenever where you watch Mike Zero, like one of the Mike Zero videos, it's like you remember Pinocchio and Shrek, and it's like I'm most certainly
Yes.
I'm not. When he was like, yeah,
Yep.
right. It's like oh yeah, he would get around the lying by just twisting, his words into a pretzel. But dude, insane. All right, we should do a Sony. What are you doing? But Joe, we got a trailer for Madame Web. Not as bad as I was expecting, but at the same time, Sony, fire your trailer people. Like those guys, I already watched the movie. It happened again. It's like, well, I don't want to see the entire movie. All right, so, uh, yeah, it's out there, Madame Web, and um, you got like Dollar Tree Spider Man in it, right? So tell me what's up, dude. You know more than I do on this one.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, they took character Madame Web and basically made her full on psychic, and she's in the past, and she's, able, after she has this tragic accident, she's able to see the future before it happens, and therefore she's somehow magically by fate and time connected to these three other women that are also future Spider Women in their own regards, and she is going to work with them to stop a specific person who also can see the future, who I have no idea who this guy is. I never heard of him, to be completely honest with you before. But he is supposed to be trying to stop essentially Peter Parker from ever being born. He sees that there's somehow his fault for something in the future that he won't be a part of or whatever, but for some reason wants to stop him. And so Madame Web is protecting Spider-Man, or Spider-Man's future at least, rather, and coming
Which Spider
through.
Man? Toby or
If you ask me, I'm gonna say it's a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
right?
I think that's the one that they would do before they do. I think if anything, you would get Andrew Garfield as like a separate standalone movie. Like, hey, we're just gonna go make the third movie, versus trying to make canon what's happened with those movies, if that makes sense.
Right.
And we've heard the rumors that Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman are coming in as the leads for Secret Wars. And the TVA recruits them essentially to try and protect the timeline from Doom, but we'll see how true that is. But yeah, I think clearly with this, because of the characters you have, but these are characters that are very specifically in the comics, very connected to Peter Parker,
Right.
but they're existing before Peter Parker exists, is where I have a lot of problems.
Okay.
Because like a character like Anya is a really cool character. I mean, that's like super D tier. Like not as many people want to know, but Spider-Man's got a great rogues gallery. He's got a great heroes assembled group. And her character is more interesting because she's basically another friend and student with Peter Parker, and instead you made her another girl that's hanging out with the future Spider Woman and stuff like that. And
Right.
like I don't people it doesn't matter to people because most people are not going to know who these characters are, and they're going to watch this movie and they're going to take it as gospel and say this is who Madame Web is, and this is who, and I know the story now and I get it, but this is not the story that it should be. It's not the story I want it to be. The acting, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I gotta
It's
look.
rough.
Dakota Johnson, like I'm not trying to shade her, but let's just say like it is very wooden. I'm sorry. Like I'm not trying to demean her as a woman or as an actress, but like it just does not seem like it is good at all. There's a specific line IGN was making a joke of, is going
Oh
all
really?
over social media. Like I was all different people who kept making fun of the one
Let
where
me
it's
see it.
like, about specifically the father and whatever. And I mean, it's a long running joke. I'm seeing it all over my Instagram, seeing it everywhere. People make fun of because of the delivery of it. It's so bad. It's so badly written. That's not what you want to be viral for. Where people are making fun of it
Right.
already. Yeah. Will I see this? Yes. I will see this because it's Spider Man, my boy. Right. I'm Craven. Probably gonna see that too. Both movies look horrible. I do not want them to come out. They probably will. They just said coming coming to theaters. They did not say a release date for it. We know it's clearly gone moved. I'd imagine late next year.
Right.
So if that's the case, maybe you'll also get a little tease at Comic-Con, and I'll try and be there for that if that's the case.
All right. Yeah. Not much to say on my end too. It's like it's there. It's a thing, right? Again, this
How
is one of
hard is it, man? People would think I'm cracking down on female like lead characters and stuff like this. Like,
right,
oh, he didn't like the Marvels and this and all that. No, it's more so I want to see these characters have like their day in the sun the right way. Like
right,
that's my
right, right,
problem.
right, right.
No, they deserve better, these characters. They
Exactly.
deserve to have these epic and amazing. And I have not seen the Madame Web movie. I'm just talking about the trailer. I could watch the movie and feel very differently,
Right,
right? I want to be very explicitly clear about that before this clip goes wrong. And then it's like he loved it later on, you know?
right.
But like I'm just judging it based on what I'm seeing right now, and
Yeah,
it's not it.
yeah. And I think the problem again is the Sony people are really bad at making trailers. Like
Yeah.
this is being well established since the Amazing Spider-Man days. So it's yeah, man, it's a thing. I mean, Spider Woman looks good though. Like the suit, at some point.
She doesn't even have the eye
She doesn't have
coverings.
the eye
Like
covers. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
it's
Because you got to show the eyes, dude. You got to
I
show
feel I hate that,
emotion.
and then you see it in the dark. The CGI doesn't look that
The
good. I
CGI
bet
looks
you
funky though. Yeah,
like Spider-Man looks good in his suit in those, No Way Home and whatever, right? I don't know why I feel like the suits are not gonna look that good in this
yeah.
movie.
Okay. I mean, it's
We'll see.
about it's few months
They
away.
got time.
They
They got
got time.
time.
They got time. They got time. So yeah, I'm not gonna judge it yet. Yeah, am I gonna see it in the movie theater? Probably not. This is a Netflix watch for me
Oh, for
on
sure.
this
This is
one.
gonna go to
So
Netflix. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm good. Um, Joe, the PlayStation Portal is finally out, and it's reviewing pretty good. So it seems like a lot of people like it. You get about almost like 5 hours battery life. Latency is very good. It's working as advertised, I guess. It's working as intended. But again, I don't see that. It's not for me, man. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate that this device is. Again, I'm looking to get a new iPad, and I'm overlooking the the portal. So it's just it doesn't do anything for me, man. It's like I like to sit back in the couch and enjoy, playing the game on the TV. If I have like, if I would have one, a lot of time in my hands, and I mean, I have a decent backlog right now, but if I had a backlog that would like really put me back, right? Then this device would be good because I can take the device with me. And like lunchtime at work, like I got an hour to play something, right? But it's just I don't know, man. It's just not the device for me. But people out there are really enjoying it. I am curious to see what's going to happen once people start hacking it. Though. So, like, is Sony going to start blocking them from logging into PlayStation Network? What's going to happen is like, can you just flash it and put like a vanilla Android, uh, ROM on it, and then install the PlayStation app and do remote play from there? Right? There's anything can happen, right? But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos that are out there because this thing's been out there for about a week now, but it officially came out today. Also, yesterday, Joe, I want to make you feel old. It's the 10th anniversary of the PS4.
Wow.
uh, yeah, man.
Wow.
Yep. It's
Wow.
it's been
That
a
does make me
minute.
feel old.
It's been
Because I found out I was getting my PS4 when I walked out of the theaters from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, 2014.
yeah,
No, 2013, whatever it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
That's when
Whenever
I
it
got
was,
mine
right,
back then.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. So yeah, I remember. I remember when it came out. I was like, I couldn't afford it yet. Um, but yeah, I mean, I remember when I got mine because I had already met you and we were talking about it. I was like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
PS4.
Yep. That was
So
when we were connecting with one
right.
another.
Now I was
Yeah.
super hyped about Metal Gear because Metal Gear was coming out like that summer, right? Or
Yep.
later that year, and I had gotten it because I wanted to get Metal Gear real bad. So yeah, man, it's been a hot minute, but yeah, I mean, PlayStation Portal's working good, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I have to say, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, you look nice. You
Right,
look good.
right.
You look good.
See the comparison next to the Switch. It looks really like
It
you
looks
can tell that
really
it's
good.
it's a nicer product, right?
It is a very nice product. I would love to have one. I'd love to play it actually. The more I look at it, the more I actually feel like this would be a nice to have. It's not something that I need to go open up the wallet, open up the bank for, because it is just that, a remote player. And if I'd rather spend that money right now on buying some games,
Right,
playing some stuff I have. But if I had some cash to burn, it's not a bad looking device.
right.
I like it. I do like it. The reviews on it are really good.
Yeah,
I've seen some different just breakdowns overall. Like it looks just in general, because it has still like the dual sensibilities. I think that's what also helps too.
yeah,
Like in general, like I've said, yes, you can get a backbone. I think a backbone's going to do the exact same thing you want. It'll be just fine. And that's going to be more of a true remote player, because you could be places where, as long as you have a data plan, you'll be good to go. Versus this, you need Wi-Fi only. But I'm telling you, the PlayStation Portal looks amazing. Would love to have one, but yeah,
right.
it's a little costly. Was it
Yeah,
199?
199. Yeah, 199. I've been looking at um and I usually don't go this route, but
Mm-hmm.
I for the last few weeks have been going in and doing some research on some of the Chinese um, retro handhelds that are out there, and I found this company called Anbernic, and they seem to
Wow.
make really good products. They're pretty affordable, and they're actually coming out with a handheld that's a Sega Saturn themed like handheld. It's basically the 6 buttons, four shoulder buttons, and a D pad. Looks like a Saturn controller. And you can basically play games up to like PS1 games on it, and it looks very good. It's about $100, I think, if you get it through their website. So I've been eyeing one of those guys. Like I really like it. I heard that it does take a little bit of time for you to get it to I guess get the OS. This was in older models. Like it takes a little bit of tweaking, right, to get everything going properly. But in the newer models, it's basically almost like plug and play. You, they send you an SD card with an amount of games that I will not discuss. There's things. It comes with things, right? Things are included with this console. That's all I gotta say. But I want to say a few thousand things are included.
Wow.
So yeah. So I may test one out because I'm intrigued. And especially this Saturn one looks really nice and I really like it. So it's kind of like a Japanese Saturn theme, and then there's another Sega Genesis themed one that's good. They're coming out at the same time. I think they're on pre-order. I think they come out like next week. Um, Only thing is, again, you have to order through their site. They take like a month and a half to come because they come from China. So, but they there's resellers on Amazon that sell some of the older models. They do charge. They have like a $25 premium on them, but you do get them like next day, and then you have Amazon like returns with them. So, you know, that may be worth it. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to handhelds, is that, and then whatever Nintendo's it's brewing because they're brewing something, and I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, man. And that is pretty much it, sir. Oh yeah, no, the one thing that I wanted to mention, Joel. What is up with Call of Duty and those reviews?
I know, I know. I was talking to someone else about this already as well, and I definitely think it's tough. stuff.
dude. It's like it's like everything that Microsoft touches. It's like good reviews back. What's going on?
Whew.
Microsoft, what are you doing? We gotta create a new section. I mean that we had that a long time ago.
We
Remember?
did. We
Yeah, yeah,
did.
yeah. They kind of like turned their ship around, but man, it's like everything they have now. It's like what they can't catch a break. Like
No, it's bad.
yeah, I really don't know, right? It's like they have a lot of stuff on the pipeline. I don't know if a lot of this stuff is coming out, but um, I like you buy Call of Duty and then your first Call of Duty after you buy them flops really bad with the reviews. Like
Not going to look good with the investors.
no, they keep patching it and like the both parts reviewed bad. Like the single player got like fours. I don't know if you saw that.
Jeez.
And then the
Wow.
multiplayer is getting like fives and six. So, uh, mm, I don't know, man. It's like I know it's not Microsoft's fault, right? They just bought them like 2 weeks ago.
It was already
So
made.
yeah, it
But
was
it's just
already made.
tough on them
Right.
that they inherited this issue.
Yeah. Now it goes back to what you just mentioned. It's like what are the investors are gonna think about it? It's like, oh, you just invested 100 and whatever $1 million, $1 billion in this thing, and this thing flops now.
Right.
So it's a bit tough right there, but yeah, very interesting. Call of Duty is not the juggernaut it once was when it comes to at least reviews. Will it sell well? Of course it will. Um, and yeah, man, I guess we're on the lookout for that GTA 6 trailer. It's supposed to come out next month, and I don't know if you saw Selnick again saying, "Yo, games are too cheap." So I have a feeling that GTA 6 is gonna be the first game that's gonna be like the base game is gonna be like $99. I have a
Oh
up.
my
Oh,
gosh,
write it
bro.
down on the predictions, Joe.
Oh my gosh.
GTA
I'm putting it
6
down.
is gonna be
Oh my
$99 for the
gosh.
standard version.
Whew.
Write it down.
Oh my gosh.
$99 for GTA. Dude, I'm telling you, they're gonna be the first ones. And it's gonna keep going up from there. But
Whew. It's saved. That's it.
all right,
It's been
let's do
etched
it.
in stone.
Sure. It's in stone. All right. All right. That's what we got. So let's go ahead and wrap it up, man.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. We invite you to stay connected to No Load Time. Make sure you're subscribed on podcast platforms of your choice, Spotify, Amazon Music, SoundCloud. We're out there. Subscribe, write a review as well if you could. That would really help us out. Additionally, subscribe to No Load Time on our YouTube channel. You can watch our videos
Time out.
as well.
Time out.
Yep.
So we're making some changes. Stream the show live is going to be YouTube only right now.
Yep.
If you want to join from Facebook, we're still going to go ahead and post a link for the stream on our Facebook page. But we are no longer streaming direct to Twitch unless we do like a
Yeah.
separate stream. But yeah, our Twitch page is still there if you guys want to check it out.
Right.
But as of now, YouTube only for the streams. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yep. That's a change up right now. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's really going to help you to be able to watch our episodes, watch the videos that we're cutting and putting out there. Obed does a great job with those and those spoilers, reviews, and all that good stuff. All is coming to our YouTube channel. So make sure you're there. Keep following. Also, if you could follow us on social media at No Load Time, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. Sorry, it's Instagram, TikTok, Threads, X, all those good places we're out there. And then we are also on Twitch, like Obid was saying. We're not broadcasting live these episodes there anymore. We will just broadcast other content as we see fit, which would be no load time altogether on our Twitch account. And then last but not least, if you have a question, comment, feedback, we'd love to hear from you. You can always write in the comment section on our social media or on our videos, but you also can send an email. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And maybe we'll even talk about what you send in on a future episode. Next week, we're on a break. So we'll see you guys next time, which will be the week after, last week of November.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. Enjoy the turkey. We'll see you again next time.